Hey, Mike, can you just take us through what you like about Dylan, what stood out, and how you guys kind of came to the decision on him specifically?
Well, he's always been a guy that we've watched since he was in high school. We have a really good history with him. He's been a terrific, consistent player throughout his career, and he's the type of guy that we want here in Washington. He's a terrific person. He's got great character. He's very competitive. He's a winner, and he's got a great skill set. And I think he's a guy that's going to fit right in here and be one of the leaders of the core group of guys. It's going to be the next core group of championships that we have here, and we couldn't be happier that he's going to be joining the Nationals.
Jessica Camerato, MLB.com.
Hi, Mike. When you look at the scouting report of all of his tools, what stands out to you the most?
All of his tools. He's got a whole bag full of tools. He does everything well. His baseball IQ is terrific. He's a great base runner. He's a fast runner, but he's a great base runner also. And he plays both sides of the ball, defensively and offensively. And he's got a propensity to barrel up baseballs. He's on base percentage machine, and he's got power, hit, defense, run, and throw, and beyond that, he's got the demeanor and characteristics of a winner and a champion. And he was very alluring to every team out there, and we were fortunate enough to grab him.
Mark Zuckerman, MassinSports.com.
Hey, Rizzo, it's no secret that Cruz and Skeens were the two, most people saw at the top of the board. I know you saw them both a lot in person.
Yeah.
How did that go out as you were comparing the two of them? And would you have liked to have been in a position to choose between the two, or is it easier to kind of have that decision made for you?
No, it's painful enough picking two because of how you got to pick two, and yeah, we would certainly like to have our choice of all the players, and it takes out all the uncertainty of what the team in front of you is going to do. But we're tickled pink to have Dylan Cruz as a national. Again, he's going to be one of the guys that are going to be front and center in the next wave of championship caliber players here, and we're looking forward to getting him in the Nats uni.
Ron Blum, Associated Press. All right, we'll move on to Charlotte McBride, WUSA 9.
Hey there, Mike. Big decision to make to all eyes on you guys. One thing that stuck out that you said that he has a great baseball IQ, and we know how important that is. For you, how important was that and what you saw from him?
Well, you could see the way he handled himself at the most pressure situations. His calm, cool demeanor. Not unlike a lot of the great players that we've had here in the past, or Anthony Rendon and those type of players that his heartbeat is slower than most, and his pulse rate is slower. And the bigger the stage, the better he plays, and that went into a lot of our decision making. He's been great for a long, long time, and we hope that he continues to be great for the Nationals.
David Aldridge, The Athletic.
Hey, Mike. I know there's no timetable. There's nothing set in stone in terms of, what his progression might be. But do you have an anticipation for the quickness with which he may go through the system and ultimately get up to the parent club?
No, David, there's never a blueprint for when a player gets to the big leagues. They make sure that we know that they're big league ready. So, he's an accomplished college player that played at the highest level you could play in the collegiate ranks. And I think that, he's a guy that will assess when he gets in camp, and he's played a long, strenuous, stressful season already. And, we're not going to force feed him, very hard this year, but he's a player that we think again is going to be a big part of this group in the near future.
Matthew Paris, Washington Times.
Hey, Mike, I was just wondering, how does Dylan kind of fit into what you guys are trying to accomplish with your rebuild as a whole, and specifically with the other outfield prospects that you guys already have?
Yeah, I mean, he's an impact type of player, and a guy that helps any type of lineup. He could hit at the top of the lineup. He could be a middle of the lineup run producer. He's got on base percentage credentials. He's got batting average credentials. He's got power numbers. He can steal a base, and he's a two-way player. So you can't have enough of those type of players. We have an abundance of high type prospect outfielders, but he was a guy that we just couldn't pass on when the draft came around.
Back to Andrew Golden, Washington Post.
And I just wanted to follow up on that. What is it like kind of having all these outfielders to kind of choose from that have the positional flexibility to kind of play center and also the opposite positions? What is it kind of like having that flexibility there?
Well, we like as to have as many players that can play center field as possible. That means they can really play defense, and we find that having an abundance of middle of the field players is important to building championship caliber clubs, and it just gives you way more options about how to disperse their ability levels and their skill levels.
Bobby Blanco, MASNsports.com.
Hey, Mike, you've taken 2 high school bats in the first round of the past 2 drafts, and now you've taken a college bat and your first one in the first round since Anthony Rendon. Just what's the difference when you get a college bat this high as opposed to the 2 high school guys you got in the past 2 drafts?
Well, I think that the position you pick in the year that you pick it, I think that has everything to do with it. Again, we pick most impactful type of candidate that we can at each and every round, regardless of where they play or what level of competition they're playing at. We felt the years past that those high school bats were the most impactful guys left on the board, and we felt this year that Dylan was a skill set that we couldn't pass this year, regardless that he played center field.
And Winston Hilton.
Hey, Mike. Hope all is well. What was his reaction like when you talked to him?
Just talked to him a few minutes ago. Very excited to join the Nats. He knows the history of the Nats and the type of players that we have had here in the past with our championship caliber runs. And he's hoping to be one of the core group of guys to help the next run in the future. His agent is well acquainted with our system and in what we've done in our championship runs in the past, and he's kind of schooled him on the way we do things here and the bright future that we have to come.
Mark Zuckerman, MASNsports.com.
Mike, beyond the obvious baseball skills on the field, what did you learn about him over the last couple of years of scouting him as a person, as a competitor, and how much in playing at a big time program like that, where there was a lot of attention on him from the beginning? How much do you learn about a guy under those circumstances?
Well, he was a guy out of high school that took himself out of the draft with a potential high pick attached to his name. And, he had a lot of pressure on him, a target on him, going into his freshman year at a major university as a freshman, and couldn't have played any better. He was a freshman of the year there, and yes, in the tough SEC. And then he's been great every year he's played since high school. So he kept getting better and better and better each and every year. He's won every award that you could possibly win. He's been the best player on the best team in the country, and I think that when you talk to him and you watch him play, this is only the beginning. He's got bigger and better plans than just winning the national championship at LSU.
All right, we'll go with 2 more. Kyle Andrews, Fox Sports 1340.
Hello there, Mike. Just asking a question about you all's dive into analytics with swings and everything like that. How much of that did you take that into account when you watch Dylan Cruz's swing? I know he has a very smooth, to and through swing. How does that kind of play into, what you guys are trying to build as a whole with the rest of the team that you have currently?
Well, we have scouted, evaluated Dylan Cruz, his game, his swing, as much as we've ever dedicated our scouting and analytical staff to any one player. He was seen quite a bit this year. He was seen by me personally and just about every other higher ranking scouting guy in our system. And not only seen this year, but we've seen him since high school. So we had a history on him, a book on him, and we've known this kid for a long time on the field and off the field. And again, we couldn't be happier that he's a national.
And final question from Vasilius Nicolau from Fox 8 in Louisiana.
Mike, just wanted to know, Paul and Dylan were both the heart and soul of that LSU team that just won the Natty. And how are you expecting Dylan to are you expecting him to fill out that role of like a team leader at some point down the line?
Well, we never force feed that. He's been a leader since I've known him. He was a leader in high school. He was a leader as a freshman in college, and continued to lead that team throughout his career at LSU. And leaders are born; they're not made. We think that he's one of them. When you're the most talented player and the hardest working player, you're the leader, whether you have a C on your chest or not. And we think that that's what Dylan is. He's the consummate leader, leads by example, and first guy at the park, last guy to leave, and the hardest worker, and often the best player.
All right. Thank you, Mike.